The night is near its end. You will die, forget the dream, and awake under the morning sun. You will be freed from this terrible hunter's dream.
So I'll be doing something different for this episode right here, and I'll try to address and talk about my concerns in this video. So I'll be terraforming my base, clearing out the trees around it, terraform and texture the mountain, plant some new trees while I talk about this issue at hand. So let's get started. Now, if you've been around the Minecraft community for a while, you've probably heard the term block vomit quite a lot. Whenever I look at people's builds, scroll down the comments, and there's gonna be that few outliers that's gonna call it block vomit. Like, what does that even mean? I feel like it's become this umbrella insult people just throw around whenever they don't understand someone else's style. Too much texturing? Block vomit. Too many shapes? Block vomit. And even if they do like what these people created, someone's bound to say that it looks like Beat-Up's build or like Scar's build or any one of the Hermitcraft's builders. Because God forbid that we can create something nice without being given these backhanded compliments. But here's what irritates me the most, right? Minecraft in of itself is a game where it's all about players' expression. The whole point of the game is personal interpretation and freedom, right? Where you can do whatever you want in the game, build whatever you want, play however you want to play it. The way you build is yours. You're supposed to be able to experiment, try some new blocks, try some new colors, find new innovative ways to create something new. You think Beat-Up started building like this when he started doing YouTube? If you check out his old videos, you can see he's nowhere close to where he is now. Imagine shutting down Beat-Ups when he just started. Imagine calling what he did block vomit or any other negative terms out there. That would be incredibly cringe, don't you think? So why do it at all, right? But people are so used to throwing around negative comments out in the internet as if putting yourself out there isn't hard enough in the first place for most people. For me personally, calling it block vomit is basically saying that your imagination doesn't fit my template or how you should be playing the game. And honestly, that's just lazy criticism, and everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Whether you like something or not, that's completely fine. But reducing it all to one negative comments, it's not going to do anyone any good. I think it's more productive if you're able to give out feedbacks or point out something that you like about the build. And after all, I feel like why Minecraft resonated with so many people is because it's a sandbox game, right? People can do whatever they want, interpret things however they want, and let their imagination run wild. So please, the next time when you see something that you don't necessarily like, maybe not leave a hate comment, or maybe just try and give a positive feedback or a criticism that's more productive than calling it just a block vomit. I think hateful terms like this has no place in the Minecraft community, and I'm just expressing my frustration here in this video. Okay, we just finished the mountain, did a bit of terraforming in this area. Well, I guess except this patch of dirt right here. I'll fix that in a bit. But I want to show you guys real quick on the terraforming that I did on the mountain. So there's a bit of a texturing and gradation that I did, or block vomit if you want to call it that. So it mainly uses 4 types of blocks. The deep slate, there's also deep slate bricks for the darkest sections, and then tough to transition it to stone and some dead brain corals, and some andesite for the lighter areas. And on different sections, the stones, they have quite varying shapes, I'd say. So on this side right here, it kind of slopes all the way up here, and the area that is closest to the tower is a bit more straight up a bit. Same goes for behind it. It's a bit more straight, but it has like a bit of a platform right here, just for variety and to not make everything look uniform. And then we have this section at the back, which is super cool. I'm not sure what I want to build here, but the original cave has this entrance right here to a naturally generated cave that goes all the way down there, which is kind of crazy to see. But also it has this cave pocket up here. I don't know what's going to be here in the future, but it's cool to have, so I purposely built around it. If you guys have some suggestions for it, do let me know in the comments. But another cool thing that I did beside it, so let me just fly up so I can show you guys what I mean, is on this side, it's kind of zigzagging a bit, where the purpose of this is supposed to be the back entrance to the castle. Well, not really the back entrance. It's more of the walking trail to the castle itself. Since the main way of getting into the castle is that tower right there, we don't really have a path that connects all the way inside the castle from the ground. So I built this area specifically for that. And I've never done terraforming before, especially in this scale. I think I did a pretty good job. Like, you can kind of see it look quite natural, I'd say. And on this side right here, it has the same thing as the back side, where it's kind of sloping all the way up. Potentially, if I do want to make another entrance from the front, maybe perhaps connecting it towards this area right here to the top, to like what do you call that, to an open space at the top right here where the bridge and the pathway from down there connects in the middle. That could be a thing as well. But if not, it's still a pretty cool mountain design. But also up here, we mixed in a bit of moss and pale mosses to simulate that overgrown look for now. But probably most of this is going to be changed in the future, since it's going to be covered up by the castle itself. So this is just kind of a placeholder for now. And before I do the next thing right here, the terraforming is pretty simple. It's just basically me trying to even out the grounds to make it easier for me to build out the whole area more neatly, instead of that random blocks that sometimes the world generation have. So I kind of like gradually transition the lower ground to the upper ground more smoothly. But yeah, I've only terraformed the front part right here because I want to do something special in a bit. But let me show you the other side. There was like a huge opening towards the cave somewhere here, but I just decided to close it up so we have more areas to work on this level. Yeah, it's not a big change. It's just the same thing as the other side, where I slowly transition the area so it smooths out a bit. But yeah, the base is coming along pretty nicely already. You can kind of see the vision that I have for this whole area. And the next thing that I'll be doing in this episode is to start planting trees all around the base. That way we can kind of frame the building how we want it to be. So let's say from this side right here, we can kind of put the trees surrounding the main view, which is the castle itself. So that way we can kind of focus our vision towards the castle, which is basically framing, right? Same goes for this side right here. If you can use trees to frame this area specifically and direct people who's in this specific area to direct their vision towards the castle, that's how I want to frame the whole base basically. And trees are really great because they kind of help guide your vision towards the top. That way, when you look at the trees, you can eventually look at the castle. So it's kind of like everything in the environment is slowly pointing towards the top area right here. So I'll be doing this area specifically just as a test area, just to see whether the terraforming will work or not. And yeah, let's just get started. The base is coming along really nicely. This is exactly what I mean when I say I want to frame my builds. As you can see right here, let me try and get a bit closer. As you can see right here, your eyes kind of focus on the middle of the trees, right? Since this tree on the left side and on the right side right here kind of frames it perfectly for you to draw your eyes towards the castle that's going to be at the back right here. So let me try and change my FOV real quick just to show you guys what I mean. Look at that. Once you have more trees right here covering up the spaces right here, I think that really helps drive that framing aspect that I'm trying to go for. But yeah, let me just break down my build real quick and show you guys what I did with the area. So what I'm trying to create here is a dock, basically, since I created this whole area right here for the tower, but there's no way to get towards the bottom of the castle unless you go through the bridge, right? So I think this would make sense to create a dock right here and eventually make one somewhere there. That's a bit on the side maybe, just to not clutter the space at the front right here, because the pillar is kind of covering the whole space already. But yeah, the idea is for you to put your boat down here, and then you would walk up and see the whole castle from this angle right here, and you would walk through this walking trail all the way up to where eventually there's going to be like a path that's going to connect all the way up there. So there's a lot of detailing that I had to do in this area right here. As you can see, I use muds in areas that connects to the water. Same with that rock right there. It gives that a bit more darker, muddy look to the area. And I think it's a great transition than just like normal grasses in the vanilla Minecraft, right? And I put some rocks right here, just a bit darker. And they're purposely darker because the mud itself right here is already pretty dark. So the stones needs to be a bit darker just to help give that contrast that we need. Same with the grass right here. We have mosses to break up the texture of the grasses, give it a bit more variety in color to the grass that we have here, which is exactly what I did with everything that I did in this area. So for rocks, I break it up with mossy cobblestone, and other blocks. Same with the grass. You see I use grass, ferns, and some dried grass. I forgot what these are called, but bushes and some dead branches. Even in the bushes right here at the top, you can see I use different leaves just to give that a bit more variety and texture to all of my builds. The red trees is a very bold color choice, and yet the highlight of the area is obviously the red trees. And I know they're very bright, but I've done that purposely because all of our base is kind of mute in color. So I think the red gives that pop of color that we need in the base. I think it's a great contrast from the whole base itself. And I try to use it sparingly because red is very bright and I don't want it to draw too much attention from the castle itself, right? So I use it here and there just to spice things up in the base, but just enough to not draw too much attention on the lower ground here. And as you can see right here, I put some leaf litters, but also mix in a bit of resin clumps because there's no like red leaves, right? So these resin clumps are supposed to simulate the red leaves falling down and just to give a bit more color that matches the tree vibes. And obviously it wouldn't be too realistic if you have all red trees. So I made sure to put smaller trees that are green like these ones right here. And we have some right there and one more on this left side right here. But yeah, this is just a sample of the area that we're going to be making throughout the whole base. Just to see if it works or not. I really like it so far. Let me know what you guys think about it. Do you like the red trees? Is it good? Does it work? And right here, I placed a couple more just so we can have that nice illusion that there are trees in the background. And there's this really tall one right here. I try not to make them too tall because, you know, I don't want to break the feeling that the bridge is really tall. But I think one big tree right here is pretty cool just to give it that variety and in height that we need in this area. I do want to say, however, that I did not build any of these trees. I'm not really good at building trees, and I know I should be practicing and start building my own trees, but I'm taking advantage of the tree bank that we have here on the servers. A tree bank is basically where the community donates their tree builds for everyone to use. That way we have like a catalog that everyone can use when they want to build something that they like from other people's build, and just to basically share our asset and make our lives easier when building things. And these beautiful trees right here, the red ones, are made by Deck. He's been super awesome and he allowed me to build these trees in my areas, and I really appreciate him for that. And I think these smaller trees are made by Carson. He's a super great builder as well. He actually lives just right there behind these birch trees right here. He's doing some abandoned apocalypse base this season. It's really great as well. But yeah, I want to do some more of these framings in these areas, which is why I want to do something similar in the next episode right around this area right here. So it'll be a path that goes this way and trees covering up the area like similar to that. But yeah, this episode was really build intensive, and I think I did a pretty good job in shaping the base and building the foundation for what's to come next. On the next episode, we're gonna be building the other side of the portal, since the competition is still going on, and I want to put my submission in there. But yeah, this episode took quite a while. This placing down the stones just for this mountain here took me about like 5 hours straight, which is crazy. And cutting down all the trees took me probably like 5 hours as well. And the terraforming and all that took probably like 3 hours maybe. That's not including all the plannings, by the way. That took a significant amount of time as well. But yeah, that's it for this episode right here. I hope you guys learned something from my builds. I hope my content can be a beacon of light in the community, and it's just a way for me to spread positivity and spread joy for the game that I love. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider subscribing. It would mean a lot for a small creator like me, and I hope to see you guys in the next episode. Peace out.